Hey friend, I'm Andy Jenkins. Welcome to the Amplify Podcast. Today we are going to wrap a 3-part series on really how to get paid for what you know. We've been walking through the ABCs of it. It's really an ABCD right there. A, articulate your framework. B, build your home base. Today we're going to talk about C, communicate regularly, and then ultimately D, deliver results for dollars is what you've got to do to get paid for what you know. Get paid for the expertise that you have. Get paid for the place where you really shine as you help people overcome the problem they have and step towards their untapped potential along the pathway that you've outlined for them in that framework. I remember one day Beth and I were sitting here at the kitchen table and I looked outside and it was raining really lightly outside. And all of a sudden, a pine tree just fell. The impressive thing about it is that it was about 70 feet tall. And at our house, it sits up on this hill. And so the pine tree fell and it landed almost completely perpendicular to the earth when a power line that was slightly down the hill caught it. It just caught the tree. Then it knocked the power out for a while, and then all of a sudden school buses and cars just kind of go under this tree that's caught on the power line that's being upheld, and these trees weigh like 10, 15,000 pounds, something like that. I mean, I even put this in one of the episodes way back when we started this podcast a year and a half ago or so. Here's what was unique about that. I saw the tree fall, but I did not hear it. I mean, the tree was, the stump still is, I'm gonna guess 50 feet from the kitchen table. If you could just go, through the window and then kind of cattywampus out the backyard, 50 feet. Didn't hear it. Had no idea what it sounds like. And it just kind of reminded me of that old saying, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? And so when you're in elementary school, you kind of debate it back and forth. Does it? Yes, no. Well, it does sound waves. And technically, a sound wave isn't a sound until it gets to a person and all this, And what kind of just gets lost in the shuffle is we really don't know. It doesn't do anything unless the sound waves get to a person. Today we want to talk about all of your sound waves with your message. And how do you know that the important ideas that you have, because they are, like there's this inner drive. You think about it, you wouldn't put the time and effort into writing the book unless you really felt it would make a difference in other people. You wouldn't take the energy to create that online course unless you really believed it would move the needle forward for others. You really wouldn't do the coaching program, do the workshop, do the live event because it is so much work, right? Unless it was this passion overflow because you knew it mattered and would make a difference. But it doesn't make a difference unless people know about it. And I've been there. You have these ideas and then you release them into the world and crickets. You got the equivalent of a 70-foot tall pine tree of awesome content and it goes out and nothing. You could see it. But no sound, no effect, just gets caught somewhere, no impact. Today, we are going to talk about that. What are the metrics you should look for? How do you make sure that it makes a sound? How do you dial in and where do you find the right audience? And then how do they know what they can do in order to take action with you so that you can help them? All right, take a look before you get started down at the show notes. I've got a few next steps there for you. And if you want to continue the conversation, follow one of the links. Here's the training. Let's talk soon. C. C is to, in the A, B, C, D, remember A, architecture framework, B, build your home base, C, communicate regularly. And I said right here, as I said earlier, I think weekly is best. So a common question that we receive is, what part of my content do I share on social media? What do I share on podcasts? What do I share on blogs? That's part of the question. Now, some people say this: you should share the what and sell the how. You might have even heard that before. I'm going to be honest with you. That is a little bit confusing to me because I'm not sure where the what and the how kind of separate, because when you're building out a framework, they tend to blur in my mind because all of the information that you're teaching is application. So you could do this. I'm not pooing on the idea. I'm just saying I don't understand it, and I think we got a better solution. Others suggest this: you should give away the first half of your content and then sell the rest, whatever that means. So it's kind of like I'll give you a tip here. When I was in seminary for a couple months, I worked at this Kirby vacuum cleaner place, and man, they serviced a ton of them out in Texas. So primarily my job was after school, I got paid a good bit of money just to go drive to get them. And I would listen to some of my lectures and some of the content that I need to review in my car this whole time that I'm driving. That and the Seinfeld I'm Telling You for the Last Time CD, which I basically warped it listening to it so many times because it was so funny. But one of the things that they taught people that were selling those vacuum cleaners is to go into somebody's house. Now, again, this is kind of dating it because, I mean, when is the last time a vacuum cleaner salesperson went into somebody's house? You'd go in there and you would shampoo and vacuum half the room, and then you'd leave the other half. I mean, and you would be shocked at the amount of dog hair and dirt and food that came out of rugs and carpets. And their whole thing was, well, you give away the first half of the room and you sell them the vacuum so they can clean the second half. All right. Now, there are a lot of content creators that say to do that. I'm not sure how you would chop the framework in half. And then I don't know. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it kind of seems like that vacuum cleaner sales tactic to me. So let me tell you maybe 4 keys to sharing your content online that I think might help. They kind of help me. This is kind of the angle that we run. All right, so key number 1 is you want to share information that is based on your framework, which is why articulating your framework is the first step. So where's all the data going to come from that you're going to communicate regularly? And now you start seeing why these need to be in order: A, B, C, D. Articulate your framework, build your home base. C, communicate regularly, because you've got to do it in a specific order in order to make it easier. Now, you can do this in any order you want, realistically, but I really think that it is far easier if you go ahead and you just start doing it the way that it's outlined here, because it helps you repurpose the content, helps you touch it one time, and then move on. So number 1, it is based on your framework. Number 2, you're going to share this info built on your home base. So the primary thing that you're going to do is drive people to a blog, to a podcast, to your videos on your website, which again is right here. Why you see you got to do this: A, B, C, D. The pro tip that I want you to jump into is you want to use social media to invite people to your site, not use your website to send people away to social media. Now, think about it like this. If you and I got to know each other and you say, hey, why don't you come hang out, at my house and let's cook, let's get to know each other. Let's, we're going to grill out or we're going to watch football or whatever. When you showed up to my house, which by the way, you knew to ring the doorbell, right? Not because there's a sign or whatever, but just because we have that, we got the doorbell right there. So you know how to get in and engage at a deeper level. So you know all of that. When you walked into my house, I would not say, oh, come on through, and then walk you right out the back door and then send you to Taco Bell. I just wouldn't do it. I would send you out the back door to the grill and to the table, or we'd stop before the back door at the kitchen, or we'd go to the little courtyard that we have right here, and we would hang out. I would not get you to my house and then send you away. Yet somehow this is the strategy that so many content creators, communicators undertake in the online space. Leverage social media to invite people to your site. I would say this, take a tip from the online retailers that are doing this. They're not trying to get you to go follow them on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Like they want to get your email address and your text number. Like that's their call to action on everything. Like give us your text and you'll save 10%. Give us your email. We'll give you free shipping. Give us our, they're not trying to get you on social media. They want to engage you with the email address and with the text. So send people not to social media, invite them to your site. And then when they come, here's what we're going to do. We're going to capture their contact information using an opt-in. We're going to give them curated content from that opt-in, sending them a follow-up email sequence based on their needs, their interests, their pain points. At some point, you're going to have multiple opt-ins going on, and you will be able to curate those and give specific content to people based on their unique needs, which you'll know based on what they opted in for. You're going to connect with them. You're going to take them from curiosity. That's just kind of wondering about what you do to a deeper connection to becoming fully engaged. And then at some point, you're going to complete a transaction. You don't be afraid to ask for the sale. You present them an offer even soon. Now, I put a pro tip here on the screen for you. Contrary to popular opinion, I think one of the best times to engage people and ask for the sell, I think they're more likely to take action soon after they meet you. As long as you've given them something relevant, meaning it's curated content, and you've built a relationship, you've connected with them. So don't wait for years and years and years. You're going to the mall and you see a store you've never been in and you find something that you like. What do? You buy it. You don't go, well, I really need to build a relationship with them. No, you buy it. If it's relevant to your need and if the price is right and you like it, you buy it. Apply that to the online space. Now, again, part of our strategy, just pulling it together, is you build that home base. So that was B. Now you got to have architected the framework first. Build your home base. You got an opt-in on that home base. You communicate regularly. We're giving them ongoing content on the blog, on the podcast, via video, whatever works for you. Reason to keep coming back. Here's four keys to sharing your online content. Needs to be based on your framework, needs to be built on your home base. Number 3, share, I like this, bite-sized pieces. So back to that question about what content do I share? Share the what, sell the how, or share half of it, sell the other half, whatever. Here's what I'd say. Share all of it in bite-sized pieces out of order. So sometimes it's going to be long form content, like a long podcast. Sometimes it's going to be a little short video. It's going to be on social media. That's going to drive people back to your podcast. It's going to be different, but you're sharing all of it just in little snack sizes. That's why I put the popcorn on the screen. And as you do that, send a broadcast email to everyone on your list, except for people who are in a curated email list. We talk about that in some of the content training that I'll reference here in a moment. You're going to send that broadcast email to everybody at least once a week. Even if you're only posting new content on a blog or podcast or vlog once a week or once a month, email everybody at least once a week at bare minimum, and let them know that you have new content that's live on the site. Now, if there's only new stuff once a month, don't make it up and go, oh, there's new stuff. And then the next week, oh, there's new stuff. Send them something different. Send them something old that's related to whatever was new, or share with them upcoming events, or share with them something else, something that you're reading right now, or something that you're learning, or a project that you're working on. Here is a scheduling hack that I don't think we talk enough about, but I want to bring it up, is batch this communicate regularly step. Batch it, batch it, batch it. Here's what that means. You need to spend 4 to 8 hours per month doing all of this, all of it, or outsource it to somebody who can. This does not need to be something that you get to do every week and you go, well, I gotta do a podcast. I gotta get one live tomorrow. So I gotta go come up with an idea. No. Here's what I've learned is it takes about the same amount of time to do 5 or 6 as it takes to do 2. So when I'm sitting in it and I'm working on it, my head is in it. I'm already making the connections. I'm already kind of at that energy level. I've got it going. And so, man, get in it and stay in it. And it is so much easier. And then, it just helps so much with the scheduling. It helps so much with knowing, okay, I've got 2 or 3 months worth of runway. I mean, right now, as of the recording of this, I'm recording 9 modules at least today and tomorrow on this training. And honestly, if some of them go long, they're going to turn into a part 1, part 2. And then I'm going to repurpose some of this training. And some of this training is going to become parts of podcast episodes. And some of it's going to become parts of a live event and live training workshop that we're doing here at our home. And parts of it are going to become blog posts. And parts of it are going to become fodder for social media. So batch it all. And when you batch it, you got a pile of stuff now you can sort. You're not just struggling to get one thing. Okay. Objective metrics to let you know that C, communicating regularly, is in place. Objective metrics, because every framework needs progress points. So this is progress point. We've done A to get paid for what you know. A was architecting your framework. You've done it or not, right? Told you how to know that. B, build your home base. That's 4, again, second of 4 steps to getting paid for what you know. C, communicate regularly. Communicating regularly is in place when you have the following. I say you got a month of blog post, social media, all that timed out with clear next steps in the show notes. That's going to lead people to an opt-in. I think it is going to be in place when you've got email broadcasts ready for each. Now, right here, you kind of got to think through this and go, well, if I'm doing this weekly, that's going to be more work. So I'm going to do 4. If I'm doing this monthly, I still think you need a weekly broadcast right there. So again, you can do this at the pace that you want to work. You can do this at the rhythm that you're comfortable with. You can post it how you want to post it in the format you want to post it. But some of these, again, objective metrics in place. Here's another way to know that you're doing it. You've got 1 month of social media scheduled. Scheduled. Not, I gotta touch it every day and I gotta come up with something. I mean, you've got a month scheduled. So, and I'm saying the rate here needs to be 3 to 5 days of that week. So if you're going to post 3 days, that means for a month, you need 12, maybe 15 if it's a 5-week month. Or if you're going to do 5 days a week, you need 20 to 25. So you've got all of that scheduled. So it's created, there's scheduling software, and at least a third of those are going to invite people back to your website. So you go, where's all that content for social media going to come from? It's all overwhelming. Here's the tip. It all comes from architecting your framework. So you can see now how and why all of this begins fitting together and why it's so important that you go there first. Okay, modules to review for C. Here's where to go. Email 101 is going to tell you the most valuable asset that you have is your contact list of qualified leads, but it is only valuable if you know what to do with it and communicate with those people. So watch that training. Number two, you need to learn how to build a content calendar. It is super easy. Oh, and it takes the brain power out of wondering what to say and when do I say it once you build that content calendar. You need to learn how to tie your social media and email together so that you can leverage the power of both. Here's the tip. If you write one, meaning you write the social media, you've got the content that needs to go out on your email list. So we'll show you how to tie all that together to repurpose all of it. It's in the training. You've got access to all these modules. You also need to know how to schedule 30 days of social media in 3 hours. So 30 days. So this is what I'm saying. This shouldn't take more than 4 to 5 hours for the entire month. So you should literally be able to sit down. And I'm going to tell you this, when we're scheduling just the social media for clients, and we can do this because we're well acquainted with the framework, well acquainted with the content they're teaching. In fact, if we're not, we won't do it. We won't touch it. So if we're well acquainted with it, we're on board with it, we get it, we take it. And, I dedicate a day a month to do the social media for each of the clients. So I've got the assets in place, a day a month. It doesn't take the full day. That gives me time to create some new things, to kind of project and work out way ahead, to work on some other email sequences and other lists, obligations. But learn how to schedule 30 days of social media in 3 hours. And then 5, you need to learn how to grow your online audience. There is a module that tells you how to do that in keeping with all of the resources that are here. Okay, let's move on to the final element of the ABCD, how to get paid for what you know. D is deliver results with your core products and programs. Deliver results with your core products and programs. Now, right here, you need to clearly show people, and it's so important that you do it in this order, why they need what you have, not where to buy it, not even what it is. As content creators, so often we get enamored with the shape of the book, the color of the course, how many graphics are in it, how many modules are in it, how many pages are in the book, the fact that the book has pictures. I mean, I do. I mean, you work on this stuff and it looks so awesome, but what people need to know is why they need it. Why do they need it? Well, they need it because this solves the problem you have and it leads you to your potential. And it is a path that'll take you there with progress points along the way. And by the way, I'm going to help you avoid these pitfalls. In other words, what I did is I just re-articulated the framework. Why do they need it? The framework. Why do they need it? The framework. What was the framework? The framework was A. You got to go back to that. And then what they can buy is the packaging of the framework. Well, does this training come in the form of a book? Or does this training come in the form of a course? Or does this training come in the form of a live event? Or does this come in the form of several modules that I get? Or does this come in a combination of things? That's what we often lead with. What we need to lead with is the why, the framework, and then finally link down on where to buy, where to buy it. I really think that tip here is you need to create a non-confusing core list, a menu of products and programs. Man, one of the things that, I've kind of locked on recently is, we've got so much stuff. And when you get so much stuff, it gets so confusing for you to keep up with. It gets confusing for other people to know what you really do. Like, you got to dial it in and create a clear menu. Even if some of the stuff is not available and it's not forward facing and they can't get, some of the ancillary stuff is not even stuff they can't get to. It's kind of like a secret menu that they can't get to until like they've been in your ecosystem for a while. You need like a clear starter menu. When people walk in, they see what you've got and they can take action. There are a lot of, particularly life coaches that, hey, I sell people, how to, whatever, and they coach. But you go to their website and it's really hard to find where to take action to engage their services. Or you got to get on a strategy call to hire them to do anything. I think, and here's a tip, you go watch, and I'll reference in a minute, the Thought Leader coaching page. You need a core list of about, I think, 4, 5, or 6 ways people can engage your services. Now, the exception to that might be if you're helping different kinds of people, like we help sometimes writers and course creators, sometimes we help nonprofit leaders, sometimes help business leaders. Well, I send them all in a different lane that has a different 3 or 4 options. So that might be different, but you never want to have like this overall nothing. Like you walk into the store, it's a big nothing burger. It's just, hey, we can help you. Help you with what? Well, there's no way for them to take it. You don't want that. When you walk into McDonald's, there's a menu, and if you want something else, you go to a different store. You don't go to McDonald's. But if you go to McDonald's, you see how you can engage their services. If you go to Starbucks, there's a menu. It's up there. Like you can see how you can engage their services. Now, consequently, Starbucks does have a secret menu. If you've been there for a long time, you kind of learn, oh, there's other things here. And maybe that's how you kind of need to treat this if you've been at this game a long time, is to, whittle down what's the core, where do most people need to go? Okay, by the way, I can introduce this other stuff at a later time to where it's just not so overwhelming. Okay. Objective metrics to know that D is in place. What is D? Delivering results with your core products and programs. You need to have, now look at there, here's 5 objective metrics. Objective, not, oh, I think I got it. Oh, I'm doing good. I've helped some people. No. Here's the objective metrics. You need a sales page up with a clear offer. You need a sales email sequence that's ready to direct people to that page. So you can find prospects. Where are the prospects coming from? From your opt-in. What are you going to do when they opt in? Send them value. After you send them value, what do? Send them on a sales email sequence. You also need an advanced offer. That includes bumps. That includes upsells, where they don't just buy the thing they see. It presents other related products and programs to them. You need an onboarding sequence to welcome purchasers and thank them. By the way, that would remove them from the sales sequence. All the software will do this. And then I think objectively, you need 3 completed transactions so you can test the sequence in real time and see that it works. Those transactions, those are with customers. That doesn't include you getting in there and buying it and then, refunding it back to yourself, which you got to do that sometimes to set up shipping webhooks. I mean, we go through that all the time to make sure this stuff is working. But I mean, 3 completed transactions. Okay, let me give you the modules to review for D. There's a module I've got on value and price. A lot of times people go, well, how much do I charge? This will let you know how and what to charge based on the value you deliver, not necessarily an arbitrary price. I'd explain that in that training. The next 2 go together. What needs to be on your sales page and how to close sales with email. So there are templates here that walk you step by step through what needs to go in each of those. Number 4, how to create an advanced offer. That will give you literally the tips on how to stack those offers, and it will show you some that we've actually done. Number 5, why people don't buy your stuff, so you can discover the barriers there and learn why they aren't taking action. And then even better, you can remedy the issue. Number 6 is how to launch your products and programs. That's going to be 4 essential for launching well. And then a 9-point launch checklist. 7, 3 types of launches. 8 fits together with those. How to build a sales machine that works on autopilot. Number 9 is how to monetize your framework. So I'm going to put a little note here. That is called building a business plan. And then 3 force multipliers to monetize your message while also serving people at a higher level. So let's review all of this. And then I know you're like, what about the money? Like, where's the money? Because you said it's going to make money. Okay. A, architect your framework. B, build your home base. Remember, do it ideally in this order. Now, if you've already got a website, don't shut the website down. Just go back and architect your framework and then edit the website. Communicate regularly. I think weekly's best. And this is long form content on your website. I would go back and I would add the social element there and make that 3 to 5 times a week. And then D, deliver results with your products and programs. By the way, if you can't do C, just get somebody that can do it. My dad right now has got a fabulous TikTok page going on with videos and all kinds of people, sending hearts and comments and asking questions about heaven. That's the latest book that we've released. He hasn't even seen that TikTok. So what has he got? He's got us. We're doing it. So if you don't know how to do this stuff, just get somebody that can do it and do it efficiently and do it well. You don't have to have your hands on all of this. D, deliver results with your core products and programs. Okay. Common question. That's the ABCD. I got into this because the title of this entire framework training on how to get paid for what you know was how to get, there's the fourth word there, how to get paid for what you know. So I want to know, that's what you're asking right now. I want to know, how do I get paid for what I know? How do I make money? Okay, here's the straight up answer. Deliver results. Whether you're in a nonprofit, a for-profit, or want to repurpose the profits and make money and just reinvest that into something wonderful and beautiful that changes lives, dollars follow results as a natural byproduct. And so what we've seen is, sometimes you deliver results for one person, they stay with you a while, they refer you to 3 or 4 other people. We had a client, we did some stuff with them. They paid us pretty good for a while. And oh goodness, I can trace 2 other current clients to that person. And I can trace other leads to that person that haven't taken action yet. At some point they might or they might not. So deliver results. That client has also reached back out to us to do other projects. And so deliver results. You deliver results, dollars follow results. Okay, let's tie it all together. Let's make it work for you. Tie it all together right here. Remember, back in the first step, architect your framework. We mentioned the importance of progress points with markers that are clear so people know whether they've hit them or not, and objective so that there's no guesswork. They're either there or they are not. As opposed to simply spouting out information, you need to take people on a journey. You want to take them on an intentional trip. That is what you are doing right here. You want to take them on an intentional trip, an intentional journey that is taking them from where they are to where they, I'd say, dream of being. And as you do that, tie it all together, those objective metrics, it's going to work. Here are a couple other trainings you might want to review, each relating to this complete module. So the others I've referenced kind of segment in and say, okay, well, here's where this fits. These 3 are kind of generic. Number 1, there's a sales video script. If you're going to put a video on your page, which I recommend, do the other stuff first. Don't focus on the video, but if you got the other stuff up there, do a video. It's a nice element that lets people see you, know you, trust you, get your personality, your feel, your tone. You can repurpose that video and use it on social media. Go ahead and create it. Use the sales video script training, and it'll walk you step by step through what to say. We've literally filled that out and had people just kind of look at the screen and then say it and then edit it, and it works fabulous. Look at, if you've already done a sales page, look at the Pastor Framework Advanced Sales page. That's kind of next level. And it helps you to where all your pages don't look exactly the same. They're not going to look the same anyway. And then go back and look at the how to scale with paid ads strategy that's outlined as well. Okay, that's it. That's how to get paid for what you know. Hey friends, you're just taking a break from the podcast to let you know about a free download we have for you. The link is down below in the show notes. It is the 11 mind shifts that really you need to make to shift in the new information and influencer economy. That's what you're involved in right now. I don't know about you, but when I was starting this, I really didn't know how to go about things. And maybe you've done what I've done. You think, you know what? Seems like I learned everything the hard way. So these are 11 lessons that we learned, goodness, over the course of about 7 or 8 years of honestly some victories, and then really transparently some mistakes that were made in the publishing industry. And so all of that has really shifted. And as we say many times, you don't need the permission of someone to publish your idea or to release your message to the world. What you really need is just a simple process, a step-by-step framework that works for you, that other people have used. The 11 mind shifts really is the start of that. And so you're going to learn how to use different processes. You're going to learn how to share your message. You're going to learn, hey, where does the money actually come from? Whether you're motivated by the income or not, it honestly takes money to amplify your message. And so we'll talk about the place of a publisher, the place of do-it-yourself. All of that information is in a free PDF download. Just click the link in the show notes below at www.amplifyonline.info/11. I'll repeat it, amplifyonline.info/11, and you'll have instant access to the 11 mind shifts. That is amplifyonline.info/11.